Agile Software Development and Agile Manifesto. In 2001, a group of very well-known names in the software industry representing the most widely used lightweight software development methodologies looked at the software industry and how it does advance every day, and they didn't like what they see. They looked at the issues and came up with a solution which they called Agile, agreed on a common set of values and principles which became known as the Manifesto for Agile Software Development or the Agile Manifesto. The way I look at the Agile Manifesto is as any country's constitution. This is the base that all the laws of that country should arise from. No law is allowed against the Constitution or the Manifesto. Let's read it together in a voice that suits reading a manifesto. Manifesto for Agile Software Development. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Though this work we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. That is, while there is value in the terms on the right, we value the items on the left more. The Agile Manifesto contains 4 statements of values. Let's look at each one of them in detail. First, individuals and interaction over processes and tools. Knowledge-based projects are people-oriented. Much of our success is based upon effective interaction and communication. Even if we have the best processes and tools, but combined with poor communication, success will be very likely. Processes and tools are, well, tools. They are not the objective or the goals that we must follow. They are, after all, tools. Any processes and tools should be used as an enabler to increase the teamwork rather than replacing it. Projects are developed by people. Problems get solved by people. Scope is negotiated by people. And most importantly, projects are accepted by people. Focusing early on developing the individuals involved in the project and emphasizing productive and effective interactions help set up a project for success. Please note that this is not to say that processes and tools cannot help in successfully completing a project. This is a common mistake done by companies who are starting to use Agile. They think Agile means no processes. Wrong. Our projects are ultimately about people. If we ask 2 teams to develop the same product, they will produce different outputs. The requirements will be different. The design will be different. The code, how we test, everything will be different. Why? Because we depend on how people think, which varies from one person to another. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools is a great reminder of where to focus your energy, time, and passion. Working software over comprehensive documentation. Software without documentation is certainly a problem and will sure hold back support and maintenance. But comprehensive documentation without software is next to valueless to most organizations. Projects are typically initiated with the goal of creating valuable, high-quality software, right? Even though this is a very common sense, still, we spend weeks or months creating extensive documentations that doesn't support the ultimate goal of working software. From the customer perspective, working software is much more useful and valuable than overly detailed documentation. In addition, Because working software is available much earlier in the development life cycle, Agile development can provide significant time to market advantage, and it provides an opportunity to give the development time rapid feedback. I remember in my early days in the 80s when I started to learn about waterfall, I had to read like thousands of pages to understand what are the required documentations in waterfall, and of course I had to produce those thousands of pages myself. Again, a very common mistake where people claim that Agile promotes no documentation. No, this doesn't mean that we have to avoid documentation completely, but only necessary documentation is produced. And for me, this is an art, to document only what is necessary. Do I need to document that the font used in report XYZ is Times? No, I can see it. So why record it in a document? So this means that valuable software will be delivered early and frequently during the development. So in Agile way of working, we deliver a piece of working software increment every iteration. That means we need to decide what to deliver in every iteration and decide if a specific feature will really add a value to the user or not. This value speaks about the need to deliver. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. We all should know by now that customers often find great difficulty in specifying the system that they require. And this is natural, my friend. If you are single, or when you were single, could you have specified exactly, and I mean exactly, what do you want in your future spouse? I doubt it. It's hard to define exactly an unchanging view of what we want to be built in upfront. So this value reminds us to be flexible rather than uncooperative. It's similar to the difference between verification, doing the thing right, and validation, doing the right thing. Again, we value both, but we should value validation over verification. I will explain. We could do verification and testing to build the product exactly as originally specified. But if the customer changes his mind or claims that this will not help his business, it would be better to be flexible and work toward the new goal, as opposed to the goal that was originally stated. Validation, doing what the customer wants, verification, doing it in the right way. Software products have a dynamic nature. Software is intangible. Business needs change quickly. Technology changes quickly. Rather than beat up the client with a change management process, we should recognize at the start that things are going to change, and we should work with the customer throughout the project toward a shared understanding of how to define that something is done. Collaborating directly with the customer improves the likelihood of understanding exactly what the customer requires. Working in regular and close collaboration with them is likely to bring more success to the project. Customers often do not know what they want until they see something working. While having contracts with customers is important, Agile promotes a more trusting relationship and more flexible contract models than we often see on projects. Writing contracts with the customer is a profit motive, and collaboration is a purpose motive. So purpose motive should be given more importance than profit motive. Responding to change over following a plan. So we agreed that change is inevitable in software projects. High rates of change are common in software projects. Many factors might require the software to be subject to change. These factors must be accommodated by the software development process. Also, the initial plans were made when we knew least about the project at the beginning, and as the work progresses, we will need to update the plan. The flexibility to accommodate changes into the plan is more significant than just writing a plan and following it blindly. We need to acknowledge that things will change and plan smartly. Again and again, this doesn't mean that Agile Manifesto is suggesting we abandon planning and just react to changes. No, we still need to plan. The Agile Manifesto guides us to consider projects from a value-based perspective. Yes, we will need processes, tools, documentation, and plans on our projects. But while dealing with these assets, we should remember that our focus must be on the people engaged, the product we are building, cooperation, and flexibility. Agility is the ability to execute projects while focusing our efforts on the items on the left side.